glowing reputation. There were small, almost invisible cracks. Eliza sometimes felt the weight of Adrian's silence. Moments when he would drift away in thought, as if something lingered in the shadows of his mind. Adrian, on the other hand, sensed that Eliza carried a heaviness she never spoke of, a hesitation in her laughter when the past was mentioned. But neither of them dared to pry too deep, because after all they had the perfect life, the life everyone envied. And sometimes, perfection hides the darkest truths. Before Adrian came into her life, Eliza had been entangled in a relationship that was anything but perfect. Marcus Hale, a charismatic yet deeply troubled man, had been her first love during her medical residency. At first, he appeared attentive, passionate, and almost intoxicating in his devotion. But as the months passed, his charm twisted into control. He demanded to know her every move, grew jealous of her colleagues, and often accused her of betrayals that never happened. What had begun as romance slowly rotted into obsession. Marcus wasn't just possessive, he was relentless. He would wait for her outside the hospital, after long shifts, follow her car late at night, and flood her phone with calls if she didn't respond immediately. The final breaking point came when Eliza discovered he had broken into her apartment while she was at work, rearranging her belongings as if to remind her that he could be anywhere, anytime. The violation shook her deeply, and she ended things with him, believing that cutting off contact would finally set her free. But Marcus didn't let go. He never did. When Eliza began dating Adrian, Marcus's anger escalated into venomous threats. He would send cryptic messages, handwritten notes filled with rage and heartbreak. At one point, he even confronted Adrian outside the hospital, hissing that Eliza would never belong to anyone else. Though Adrian tried to brush it off as the jealousy of a desperate man, Eliza couldn't shake the icy fear that Marcus meant every word. Her colleagues noticed her growing unease, though she rarely admitted the details, preferring to bury the terror under layers of silence. Then, almost as suddenly as he had erupted into chaos, Marcus disappeared. No more messages, no confrontations, no sign of him at all. Eliza convinced herself he had finally moved on, or perhaps had spiraled